So, Chad, over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And different time zones. It's a very exciting what the Canadian Association is doing at the moment. It's nice to be part of this journey. And we're really looking forward to future collaborations between myself and Dr. Ambrose. It's been an absolute pleasure putting this PowerPoint presentation together. And we're looking forward to sharing it. And please feel open to ask any questions afterwards. So, Andy, if you can just jump to the next slide for me. Right, so that's the one. Thanks, Andy. Who implements RPL? And the idea is professionalizing RPL practice in higher education, which is something that is important for us in South Africa. As we know, RPL has become a key mechanism for widening access, promoting lifelong learning, and advancing social justice. Yet, despite progressive policies, implementation, inconsistency, one possible explanation is that while we have invested significantly in policy development, we have invested far less in developing the practitioners responsible for implementing those policies. This work asks a simple but important question. Who prepares the people who prepare the support for RPL candidates? Next slide, Andy. Existing scholarship has significantly advanced our understanding of access, assessment, and learner experiences. However, a largely invisible group remains underexplored: the practitioners who optimize RPL. These individuals often include administrators, advisors, coordinators, and assessors who are expected to interpret policy, guide applicants, and manage systems and support quality assurance, frequently without a structured professional development pathway. And as you can see there, just looking at the slide, the practitioner is the key in all of the processes that we go through on a daily basis over our work. So on the next slide, Andy. So just looking at RPL practitioner journey, we've discovered an 8-week development program would be successful implication, and putting that together looks as the follow. To address the challenge, the UWC RPL unit developed a practitioner development program that moves beyond traditional training. The program would include participants to policy, frameworks, governance, structures, and advising practice, portfolio development processes, and of course, reflective professional practice. As we know, reflective is very important. That's one way how we can continuously improve systems. Then the intention is not to simply to train the assessors, but to develop informed practitioners capable of supporting adult learners while maintaining institutional quality assurance and policy integrity. And with that being said, it's important to have good relationships with different parts in the university. You know, it's like having a car. You know, you can't have the engine and the wheels don't work successfully. You're going to break down somewhere. So it's important from our point of view as UWC that we work well with the quality assurance team and those that's busy working on the policy and integrating that successfully so there can be a smooth oil machine. Thank you, Andy. So as part of our ongoing research project, practitioner reflection will be analyzed to better understand how knowledge, confidence, and professional identity develop throughout the program. We are particularly interested in identifying competencies required for effective RPL practice and understand how administrators and advisors transition into specialized practitioner roles. These findings will inform a broader conversation about professionalizing RPL practice across the post-school education and training sector. And again, we're looking at what competencies are important, how does the practitioner develop through experience and learning, what governance knowledge is required to ensure quality, and how do we strengthen the RPL implementation, and what professional development needs to be in place. Looking back at that 8-week program, that's only would be a start, but obviously we want to develop the practitioner to be able to deliver to the student. Thank you, Andy. The long-term goal of this work is to contribute towards a professional RPL practitioner framework. Such a framework could support capacity building across universities, colleges, and other post-school institutions by providing a shared understanding of competencies required for effective implementation. Between myself and Dr. Ambrose, at the moment, we are collaborating with colleges in South Africa and post-school institutions looking at best practice and see how we can create the environment for RPL practitioner framework. And with that being said, ultimately, we're looking to strengthen capability and strengthen policy implementation. And of course, we want to strengthen the quality assurance. And the most important, what's our core business is the learner success. So we feel as the RPL unit at UWC, if we make sure that those focuses are in place, especially with the learner success, we are able to get bigger output, be able to serve a wider community and make a bigger impact. So in closing, our vision, of course, would be a professional community of RPL practitioners who uphold the quality, promote equity, and transform lives. And our purpose in this journey would be to build the knowledge, skills, and professional capacity required to implement RPL with integrity, competency, and make an impact. And just looking at the slides at the 6 points, there's a policy literature, the governance capability, 3, the assessment expertise, 4, adult learning support, 5, very important, is the ethical practice, and of course 6, which all makes up the professional RPL practitioner, is leadership and innovation. We want to see that these practitioners do have leadership skills and innovation. And then just in closing, Andy, if the RPL is to realize its transformation potential, we must look on policy and processes and focus on the people who implement them. Professionalizing RPL practice offers an important opportunity to strengthen implementation, strengthen support towards adult learners, and more effectively build a sustainable RPL ecosystem across the post-school sector, so those we are serving get a meaningful, successful experience in higher education. Thank you, Andy. Any questions, colleagues?
Don't be shy. We're actually getting a little. We've got plenty of time for discussing.
Yeah, let's just discuss this. You know, it's a real nice space we find ourselves in, and I think this conference setting is absolutely perfect for us to find a way how we can collaborate and how we can actually professionalize this. You know, it makes a big impact when you see the students with formal, informal qualification coming in the office and looking for a chance, you know, and all of a sudden you're giving them this chance. And so if we can create all RPL practitioners with a strong policy, I mean, we're going to make a bigger impact across society.
Excellent. Gary, Rural Development Institute.
Yeah, this is from Brown University in Manitoba. I'm the PLER coordinator here. Been really interested in the competency frameworks for RPL and other practitioners that or other sectors again that apply RPL. Just interested again in your 6 competencies. Do you have any indicators for them?
Yeah, so of course we're looking at how we can best practice it. What is the need of the students and how we can be needs. I think that's very important, and taking us out of the space and putting the hat on of the student. And once we can do that, we can see the indicators will be clearly needed of how we can get the best practice in the situation.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I see we have a hand there, Andy.
Do we? I'm sorry. I'll be honest. There's a lot going on my screens. I can
imagine, Andy. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. I can't see things, but any questions in the chat, or I can read them out, or just turn your microphone on and ask chat. I just think it's interesting that I think this is, wouldn't it be fantastic if we had an international sort of set of things for RPL workers? Serge.
100%, Andy. I see, Serge, you may go.
Okay, I was in the other room. I'm joining now, but I have a question. How about RPL within organizations? Is it something that you have considered that within companies directly, there could be a recognition of prior learning or recognition of experience or recognition in the workplace? Do you see any connection possible with that?
Sorry, Sergio, your line is a bit lagging on my side. Would you mind just be so care to repeat that?
Yes, my question is, do you see any opportunity for the job of RPL be transferred also within organizations? So it's not something which is outside employers, but employers themselves develop this recognition function within the organization.
It's quite interesting that thank you for repeating that, Sergio. The lag was a bit better there. I appreciate your question. It's quite interesting that you asked that, because we've actually had a few inquiries from our government institutions because of the work that we've been doing. In the space in South Africa, we have quite a number of higher education institutions, 26 to be exact. And we have different policies across the universities. And so the amount of influx of applications that we receive at UWC generally comes from the City of Cape Town workers or government employed workers looking to climb the ladder. And for them, the question has been raised to us, would we be interested in taking on such a challenge? And of course, it would be interesting to go into the organization to upskill these adult learners. But we have to bear in mind, we need to have the right framework in place, and we have to have the sufficient practitioners in place. We don't want to be setting up these people for failure. We want to have a successful pathway to gain them access into higher education. So if we can have this system and this framework implemented successfully, and like Andy has said, having it nationally, internationally across, then it's a seamless effort, because we're all working from the same hymn book. But at the moment, because there's so many that's around, it's high risk, So if we can have this implemented successfully, then this is something that can definitely be a strong win, because we'd have more adult learners going through higher education.
Thank you.
Could you remind me how many institutions are and what type of institutions are involved in this project?
So that's the challenge, Andy, because about the 14th of May, I was attending a conference in South Africa, and all the universities in South Africa was invited, right? And I was giving quite a similar presentation. And it was interesting because I had the likes of Stellenbosch University coming to me, and the likes of South African University, which is more in the Northern Cape. And then, of course, UNISA, which is an online institution. And they came to me and they all said, what we are doing at the moment, they do not have in their space. And so for me, that's interesting, because we all work on the NQF. And I know our colleague who presented a wee bit earlier, who's done a bit of retirement and is now finding his feet in what he's doing and enjoying himself. It was interesting to listen to him as well, because we need to find a common ground. How do we best practice what's happening? So even if you listen to the different students that's coming to UWC, we have students that's coming across South Africa just to be in the UWC profile, because they realize that this is academic readiness. Because what we are doing is, we're not just administrators, we are RPL practitioners, and we are looking to collaborate to serve them with best practice, where the different institutions will have a 2-3 week program and expect these learners to be ready for the mainstream, where we are really going into the grits of it and making sure we have them well prepared, because we want to have a high success rate of our RPL students when they get through. We put ourselves on the level where we want them to be on the Dean's merit list. That's what we aim for in the space that we work with our students,
So how could the community, this international community, how could we support the work that you're doing, and vice versa?
It would be fantastic if we could get to that point, and designing an absolute framework that works, and in testing and trial and error. Like I mentioned in the slides, it's important that we do reflection on it and see where we are at. With Dr. Rambro's support through my journey, it's been absolutely amazing experience. She's collaborating with the likes of SAQA, which is South African Qualifications Authority, and then of course she collaborates with NQF, which is the National Qualification Framework. And if we pull out ideas, what they have requirements for us, it will be nice to put up a framework, how we can have implementation in place for a national and international implementation to have shared success across the board.
Cool.
Authority. Thank you, Naveen. I appreciate that. Sorry, just a bit of a tongue twister.
Maybe the audience, is there any work that you're doing that's comparable to this? Something similar to this? Because I'll be honest, I'm a little bit distracted in the background, keeping everything going. But my understanding is that this is a focusing on the RPL professionals. Yeah,
100%, and in seeing how we can get practitioners instead of just the administrator, and seeing how we can actually uplift them. 100%.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes, 100%. Yeah. I completely understand. You must have multiple screens in front of you, making sure that the conference is being run well. And again, from my side and from Dr. Ambrose's side, we really appreciate the work that you guys are doing behind the scenes for successful conference.
Sure. I mean, in Quebec at the college level, the SAQA, sorry, Eve.
You can finish your sentence, no problem with there.
No. Go on.
Okay. Okay. We're working right now on doing I'm not sure, a curriculum or something.
Curriculum, that's correct.
Yeah,
yes.
a short curriculum for training RPL practitioners.
Yes.
And actually, we're doing something which is like something you presented, because we thought we have to work like on 3 levels. There's the policy level, there's the human level, and there's the, I don't know, the kitchen level, somewhere in between, where all these things connect together. And I kind of find something close to your presentation, but you seem to be thinking it very much in terms of how do you say that, to accompany change or something like that. It's like a change process that you're working on more than specifically RPL. But it's about RPL, of course, but it's like the change process seems to be very, very important to you, is it?
Yes, Yves. I appreciate you guys taking the time out there to make sure that it's there for you guys and it's ready in a curriculum sense. From our point of view, we just felt like between myself and Dr. Ambrose, it's long overdue. How do we get to be in a space where we can educate these students successfully and not just be behind the computer and tick off the boxes? How do we make an impact in their lives so that they can go out to the academic world and be successful? We all have academic backgrounds and we know what it takes to be a successful academic. So from our point of view, we want to make an impact in society. That's very important for us. And of course, we need to design a tool that is efficient across board, not a one shoe fits all, but really that into a space where we can be successful when we're giving it over to the students.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Comments? I've in Quebec, the province of Quebec, the SAQA, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's, but that's at the university level, the SAQA at the college level, and then the SAQA FP or FP, Formation Professionnelle at the adult ed. I'm sorry if I've mislabeled any of this incorrectly, but they all give training and support to RPL RAC, as it's called in Quebec, RAC professionals. Anybody in the audience from any of these institutions want to talk about how they support RPL professionals. My experience is from the SAQA at the college level, and they do a brilliant job. They give training and support for everybody, from managers, for administrators, how to do the financing. They develop assessment tools, and they give training to what they call content specialists, the assessors. People might call
So,
them teachers.
Andy, would you be comfortable to put myself and Dr. Ambrose in touch with them?
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic for future collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will
Bear
really
in mind
appreciate
that
that.
most of the documents are in French.
No, it's okay. There's always tools we can use to translate them.
Absolutely.
And who knows, we can even visit them with future collaboration and see what best practice looks like.
Sure. I mean, one of the members of the board that was going to do the French emceeing today, Danielle, unfortunately he's sick and he wasn't able to make it today. That's why you got me and my horrible French. Yeah, but definitely send me an email.
I will do so, Andy. Thank you so much. I see we got a question in the chat.
Yeah.
Do you go ahead and answer it?
No, I think that's for you.
Yeah. So no, that's what I'm asking you. Okay, so I'll shoot. So just getting back to rural development institutions video, yes, definitely. Of course, keep in mind the audience you are working with, and you need to make sure that these competencies definitely aligns with the goals of the employer. I think that's very important. How do we align the competencies to make sure that it aligns with the outcome, what you're trying to achieve? So we need to be very mindful that when we're designing the framework, that it can be complemented across the board and not just in one level of university, but how do we make an impact within the sector of employment hiring?
Yeah, thanks very much. This is Gary again. Just sort of,
Gary. Sorry, I never put the name to the video. My apologies.
Yeah, doesn't matter, Chad. It's just trying to get a sense about, and it goes back to Eve's question too, whether the training that they're trying to develop and your training again would be appropriate again for career development individuals or sectors or practitioners. There's a whole range of folks again out there that really do apply RPL principles, but they're actually don't want to call it that. They call it they just work in the same field, but the same interests again that are applicable in the post-secondary sector apply elsewhere as well. And so that's been a big challenge for the Capital Board. I'm a member of that, trying to go and get a sense about the synergy between different sectors and RPL practice.
Yes.
And your competencies can sort of fit in different applications in a number of different ways. And so in the post-secondary, so it goes back again to perhaps Serge's issue, is that internally in a university again, anytime that you're hiring a new faculty member, you're actually going through an RPL process. Well, they don't want to go and call it that. Okay. And so,
yeah, 100%.
So go ahead.
Yeah, no, 100%. In that regard, so obviously what we need to just be mindful of, we need to break it down in terms of what matches the company, for example, and what matches the education space, and how do we best practice that across the board. And of course, I think it's important to recognize that the implications that it could have, and obviously the advantage that this framework could have. And once we can negate spaces and then find best practice according to that, it's then how do we match that framework with the needs of the company or the needs of the university?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you very much. Chad Frans from the University of Western Cape. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for staying up so late to present. We do appreciate it.
Pleasure, Andy. I'm looking forward to many more collaborations.
Perfect. Excellent.
Fantastic.
So
thank you for all the questions from the floor. I really appreciate it. My details and Dr. Ambrose, it's with Andy. Anybody is welcome to send us an email. We are very open to collaboration. We are very open to having online virtual meetings and possible face-to-face, like Andy already sold Cape Town. It's a beautiful place to come and visit, and our university is very nice as well. You're welcome to come join us and see how we do things on a daily practice.
Yeah. And if you do go, it's fantastic food and fantastic wine. If you're into
It is. I didn't want to say the wine word, but it is. That's the seller normally.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. So
Right.
our
Thank
next.
you, everybody.
Thank you very
I'll
much,
stay
Joe.
on the call, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.